Okay guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to use a scale today. So the materials that you'll definitely need is one scale. You'll need filter paper, which looks like this. You will need salt, which can come, I'll make sure to provide you with some. You need 5 beakers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A copy of the percent salt and grams of salt data table, which is in your packet, and it looks like this. It's dish 1, the percent salt content, and how much salt you're actually putting into the beaker, which is here. Okay, so that's how much salt that you need to pay attention to for this portion of the experiment. You need to write down on here with a Sharpie marker if it's going to be 0 grams of salt or 0% salt, 0.5% salt, the next one 1% salt, things like that, okay, so that we're being very specific and we know which beaker belongs to which dish. Okay, so there's that. You will also need a pen or a pencil so that you can write things down. Okay, so first things first, you need to make sure that your scale is plugged in. So this one needs to be plugged in. Other ones don't. They're battery operated, but this one does. So I'll plug it in here. Okay, then I'm going to make sure there's no water around this area because you can get electrocuted. So we need to be very careful when we're using the scale and around water. Okay, so now that I know there's no water around my area, I can move on. You're going to turn on the scale by pressing the on, 0, off button. It looks like this. It says on, 0, off right here. You're going to hold that down until it turns on. So there we go. Okay, you're going to want to put it on a flat surface until it says 0.00 or 0.0 grams. There should be a little G at the bottom right-hand corner of the scale. Okay, so you're going to turn that on and get that there. Then you're going to take the filter paper and place it on the scale like that. It should say around 0.9, something like that. It's not going to say 0.00 anymore. You're going to press the on button one more time. Okay? So now it should say 0.00. That makes sure that the scale knows that you don't want to measure the paper, you want to measure the amount of salt that goes on the paper. So now you're going to take your salt, and let's start out with Petri dish number 1. We know that it's 0% salt, so there's not going to be any salt there. So I'm going to take one beaker and put it to the side. We're not going to use that one. The next one that's labeled 0.5% salt, I'm going to have 0.1 grams of salt. So that's what I want to measure out, 0.1 grams of salt. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to gently just pat the bottom so that I am not spilling it everywhere. And it goes 0.2. And I just want 0.1. So I'm going to get rid of a little bit. You pick it up like a taco, and you just dump a little bit back in. Okay, let's try that one. 0.2. Okay, still 0.2, so I'm going to pick it back up. Oop. Okay, so that I got rid of everything. I'm going to start over again. This is a process. It will take a while. Oops. It's okay if you spill as long as you pick it up. Boom, right on the money. Just kidding. 0.1, boom, okay? So I'm going to take that amount of salt and I'm going to pour it into the 0.1 beaker. Boom, everything's off and in here. Okay, so I'm going to put that one next, okay? Now I'm going to put this back on there and I'm going to hit 0 out again, okay? Done with that one. We're going to move on to the second one and do 1% salt, which is 0.2 grams of salt. Okay, so the 0.2 grams of salt, I'm zeroed out. I have my beaker ready. I'm going to take my salt and I'm going to measure it out again. So we're going for 0.2 grams of salt. Boom. 0.2. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to take the 0.2 beaker, pour it in there, and make sure it goes there. So I've done that one. I'm then going to move on and zero it out again. Every time you do this, you need to zero it out. Okay? So I've zeroed it out here. I'm going to go and now Petri dish 4 will have 1.5% salt. So I'm going to put 0.3 grams of salt in that Petri dish. So I'm going to take my graduated cylinder and I'm going to make sure I get my salt on there. 0.3 grams of salt. Notice how it's a little bit more each time. And notice how I use the same filter paper every time. Perfect. 0.3. Okay, this takes a lot of practice. Some of you might get it really easily. Some of you might not. Okay, so there's my 0.3 grams. The last one, 2.0. Okay, I'm zeroed out. I already zeroed out. I'm going to go for 0.4 grams of salt. Oops, too much. I'm going to take a couple off. Perfect. 0.4. Okay, so you take it up like a taco. You pour it in there. Okay. Once you're done, the next person can use this. It really doesn't run out. Or you could just put it back on the pile of filter paper, okay? Then you're going to hold on, so you're done. You're going to hold on to the on, zero, off button. Hold on to it until the blank goes screen. Or the screen goes blank. Okay, so now it's blank. You can unplug the scale unless somebody else is going to use it and wrap it up. So you're going to wrap it up nicely. You're going to unplug it here. And you're going to wrap the cord nicely around. Okay, but none of you should be wrapping it up because other people are going to be using it. Okay, so that's the same way it works on all the other ones as well. Okay, you're now going to take all of your beakers here, all of your beakers that you just made, and you're going to take them over to the people who are making the solutions. So make sure you're walking with them correctly and that you're making sure that you're being safe. Okay?